Overthinking single-handedly has the power to completely destroy your life, and the last thing that I want for you is for something which is not even real as yet to destroy your life. So in this video, I'm going to tell you as to how you can overcome every negative overthinking thought that you have had, putting you in a negative spiral, so that you can have a clear mind and manifest the life of your dreams by the end of this video. For all of you who don't know me, my name is Veer Gidwani. I am a manifestation coach, and through my coaching program, I help individuals all over the world manifest the exact life of their dreams. Now, before wasting any time, let's get right into it. First, let's understand why we as humans overthink in the first place. We overthink because our brain is a problem solving machine, which we proved to ourselves the first time we went into a classroom and were forced to give an examination because we felt like if we don't get all of the answers right, then something bad is going to happen. And then from that very same day, the next time we had an examination, we were in this constant state of anxiety where we always felt like we have to predict what kind of questions are going to come because if we don't get good grades, then something bad is going to happen, which means we have been trained to prepare for the future by making predictions about the future, which is completely moving our attention from the present moment. And this has turned all of us into these kind of creatures who cannot help but either think of either a predictable future or a familiar past. And we have become so comfortable in that overthinking has started to seem normal to us. But that's exactly what we're going to break over here, because what you want to be understanding is that the only reason why an individual overthinks is because they feel like they will gain certainty in overthinking, but that's not the case. The certainty that you're looking for is going to come with acknowledgement, which I will talk in a few moments. Now understand what fear in overthinking is. The only reason why we are predicting a future outcome is so that we are stopping ourselves from undergoing any situation in the future which is going to make us fearful, which is going to activate our nervous system to go into fight or flight mode, which is what we don't want to happen. So let me put it in this way. You are not what you think you are what you place your attention to. And because you are what you place your attention to, when you place your attention to fear, that's exactly what's going to manifest. So, if you cannot help but predict the worst case scenario, no matter what is happening in your life, the worst case scenario manifests not because of anything else, but because your attention has been put on that. Let me give you a very simple example. Let's say we have a plank of wood over here, and I tell you to close your eyes and walk on this plank of wood, which I have placed in the middle of the road, and the cars are stopped. I've stopped them for you. You'll be able to walk that. But if I say, I will give you a much bigger plank of wood, and this time I'll even allow you to open your eyes, but this time the plank of wood is on a three-story building. Now, the likeliness of you falling from that plank of wood and dying is significantly higher the second time, even though the resources of the plank being bigger and your eyes being open isn't working in your favor. But why do you fall in this time? Because your attention is not on the fact that you have to walk, your attention is on the fact that you don't have to fall. And because where you place your attention is where your energy flows, that is precisely what you're going to end up manifesting. Now that you've understood the importance of where you should be placing your attention, I want you to understand this one thing, and that is nobody knows who you are. Because my perception of you, your mother's perception of you, your building's watchman perception of you is very, very different. So, who are you? You are only the beliefs that you hold about yourself, and the beliefs that you hold about yourself are not even real because a belief is nothing but a thought that you have reinforced in your mind again and again and again and again. So, the moment you adapt to a certain level of belief, and you recognize yourself with a certain kind of identity, if you have any manifestation goal which goes beyond that identity, your brain then starts to overthink as to how can this possibly happen for me. And the moment you start to entertain the how, you get into the state of constant anxiety. And now, because your attention is on the problem solving mode, your vibrational frequency is on the problem solving mode. And what you're going to be attracting more of in your life is problems, even though you are thinking that I'm planning a solution in my head. But the vibration that you are practicing is the vibration of the question. So, how do we overcome this? We overcome this by understanding that all of us have an electromagnetic field. This electromagnetic field is our point of attraction, and whether we like it or not, it is there with us 24/7. So, when you're in this problem solving mode, your electromagnetic field is very much limited because now your attention is on your external environment and not on your internal environment. And because your attention is not on your internal environment, your electromagnetic field cannot expand because the energy that you have within yourself is being wasted on external factors. So, how do we overcome this problem of overthinking? We have three ways, three-step pattern actually. Number one, you first ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? Why do we ask ourselves, how am I feeling right now? As basic as it may sound, there is deep rooted psychology behind this. Because the only people who we ask, well, how are you feeling today, are the people that we genuinely care about. It might be your mother, it might be a girlfriend, it might be your boyfriend, it might be anyone. So when we start asking this question to ourselves on a day-to-day basis, our brain starts to believe that we are somebody who actually care about ourselves, and we are no longer going to be this person who's constantly going to live in a state of anxiety trying to predict what the next moment is going to be like. Because right now, how are you? Because most of the times, the anxiety that you're feeling right now is not because something horrible is happening right now. It's because your mind is either on a familiar past or a predictable future. But the problem of putting your attention on a familiar past or a predictable future is that your life is forever going to be the same. Because right now, if your attention is on a past event, the vibrational frequency, the electromagnetic field that I was talking about, is going to be the exact same as it was yesterday, which means the attraction which you will have today will be the same as yesterday, and the perception that you have of tomorrow can only be from your limited information of yesterday, which means even tomorrow is going to look the exact same. So how do we break this loop? We break this loop by asking ourselves the second question, and that is, why am I feeling this way right now? Because if you are in the habit of feeling extremely negative in your life at this moment because your specific person has left you, or because you're currently unemployed, that negativity is the reason why you are not being able to manifest. And you don't have to brainstorm your way into thinking as to how this is going to happen. You have to first ask yourself, well, why am I feeling this way? Because the moment you ask yourself, why am I feeling this way, your brain can resolve your current state of mind from an external event which has happened, so that you don't have to identify yourself through that event. Because as I said, you are not one event, you are not one opinion, you are not one thought, you are a nobody in this quantum field. And when I say you are a nobody in this quantum field, I mean you are an energy in this human life form in here for a limited period of time. What I'm trying to say is you are a spiritual being having a human experience for a limited period of time, not the other way around. So the more attention you put on your human problems, on your physical three-dimensional problems, the more you're associating with matter and the less you're associating with energy. But if you want to associate more with energy, you have to put your attention within yourself, because who you are is energy, and the external environments of losing a person, losing a job, is something which is matter. And when you place your attention on matter, you're going to be more of matter. And when you're more of matter, your electromagnetic field is going to deteriorate more and more, which is why you feel powerless at this moment. Now, the third question that you have to be asking yourself to completely overcome overthinking is this. I love this one. What is the next most fun thing that I can think of and take action towards this very second? Now, why is this so important? You remember when you were a kid and you genuinely thought that if you wanted to become prime minister of the country, you could become, or if you wanted to become the best football player in the world, you could become, or whatever it is, right? The only reason why we believe that is because it's 100% true at that time, and even today it is true. But the only reason why we have these limitations on ourselves today is because of the external world's opinion upon us, which we have taken so seriously, and then we try to think our way to make ourselves believe that we are actually even worthy of having that specific desire in our life, whether it's a person, whether it's a job. So let's say you have been dating this person and you probably did them wrong, and now they are not getting back with you, and then you ask your friend for advice, and then your friend is like, this and this and this and this. And then you take that advice so seriously that from that moment onward, you start to micromanage your life in accordance with their solution. When in reality, you don't have to put your attention on these material problems. You have to put your attention on the fact that you are here to create. And the only way you can create a new reality is by putting your attention on the now, because now is the only moment which has never happened before. So if you're taking advice from somebody who does not even completely know what your situation is, you are going to end up sabotaging yourself, because now you are not moving authentically. So you go to the question, what is the next most fun thing that I can think of and take action towards right now? Because when you take that action right now, you are tapping into your childlike innocence, which means when you believe that you could truly achieve anything and everything, that belief is true. But those neural networks are currently dormant. Dormant means they are not being used, they have not been used for a really long period of time. For example, if you buy leather shoes and you keep them in your cupboard for 1 year, after a certain period of time, that leather is going to chip off, right? But that leather, which is about to chip off, is only chipping off because you've not used it, which means it's still there, but it's just chipped off. But when it comes to our brain and we practice the thoughts and the beliefs that we once had as kids, even in the mundane activities in our life, the neural networks that we're going to be firing and wiring is going to help us remind ourselves of who we really are, after keeping aside these external influences that we have conditioned ourselves with. So, the next time you are in a grocery store, the question that you're going to be asking yourself is, what is the next most fun thing that I can think of and take action towards this very second? When you do that, I promise you, if you do what feels most fun to you, your electromagnetic field is automatically going to become wider, wider, and wider with every single activity that you do. Because when you are asking yourself these questions, if you haven't noticed, these are questions which are forcing you to put your attention on the present moment. It's forcing you to make yourself become aware of the energies that you are projecting. And when you become aware of all of these concepts, your ability to manifest simply becomes 10 times better, because now you are not limiting your own self of validation from an external source, because you know that there is a version of you who always believed that you can achieve anything and everything, and all you had to do is tap into your childlike innocence. But before that, you have to understand as to why you are feeling this negative, and before that, you have to ask yourself, how are you feeling in the first place? And I promise, if you do all of these on a consistent basis, for you to completely overcome overthinking, is going to be a cakewalk. If you wish to personally work with me, the link is in the description and in my Instagram bio. But for now, best of luck, keep shining, and I will see you soon in the next one.